Good morning. Today we're going to go ahead and do an activity with Catcher in the Rye. We have read so far chapters 1, 2, and 5. Go ahead and check for understanding and make sure that we can really understand our main character, Holden Caulfield. What we are going to go ahead and do is the open mind. And how it works is we are creating symbols that symbolize Holden Caulfield. Here are the directions. Based on reading chapters 1, 2, and 5, create an open mind. Draw 3 symbols that represent Holden Caulfield. Explain each symbol in 1 to 2 sentences. Give an example from the novel for each example. Examples can be direct quotes or specific actions that Holden does. Hint: a symbol is an object that means something more than its literal meaning. Example: the phrase "a new dawn" does not talk only about the actual beginning of a new day, but also signifies a new start. So right now you've told me a lot of opinions that you guys have about Holden Caulfield. You've told me that he's careless, that he's selfish, that he's fake. Now it's your turn to create symbols based on these words that you've already described to me. What I've noticed is that a lot of students have trouble figuring out how to go ahead and create a symbol. So what I want to do is let's look back in the semester. One of the units that we did was a short story unit. One of our main characters was Tom Bennick. So I'm going to use Tom Bennick as my example. If we don't remember who Tom Bennick is, Tom Bennick was the main character in Contents of a Dead Man's Pocket. And what I want you to go ahead and do, think about characteristics that Tom Bennick has. Some of the things that I can think of off the top of my head is he is a workaholic. Beyond a workaholic, I could go ahead and say he's impulsive. Beyond that, I would say he's remorseful. And these are just some characteristics that we could go ahead and say about Tom Bennick. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and pick one of the characteristics that you see. I'm going to go ahead and pick impulsive. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do with impulsive is I'm going to think of an object that goes ahead and shows what impulsive is. Now, this is us creating the symbol. Thinking about impulsive, automatically I went ahead and I thought of a road. And in the road, there are many different paths to go ahead and take. They all lead to different directions, and an impulsive person, rather than thinking, just goes ahead and dives. So this is my symbol for impulsive. Of course, an explanation is needed. So make sure that you have an explanation for whatever you decide to go ahead and draw. I think the best way to go ahead and think of it, or to do this assignment, is to think of a characteristic, then after that come up with a symbol to go ahead and represent it. So I want to go ahead and show you some examples. Go ahead and start off with the first example. These students really hit the target. Here's their drawing. And I want to go ahead and focus on this example. The example is a gavel. What the gavel represents is this. A gavel representing Holden being judgmental. If there's one thing I hate, it's the movies. Don't even mention them to me. Now the reason why they scored a perfect score was they gave me a drawing. They went ahead and told me what the drawing represented, and they gave me a quote. A quote is a perfect example to go ahead and use. Here is my second example. In this, I want to go ahead and focus on the leather jacket. With the leather jacket, this is what the students wrote. Leather jacket represents Holden's rebellion and his negative attitude. Now, the reason why this did not score the 20 out of 20 is because I needed something a little bit more concrete than just telling me how it is rebellious. Maybe a more specific example or a quote would have really benefited this explanation. Here is a third example that I want to go ahead and show you. what I want you guys to focus on is the light bulb. Here is the explanation for the light bulb. Light bulb, represent curiosity. What was really lacking here is, one, it's not even a complete sentence, and beyond that, they don't really tell me how it relates to Holden. It's not specific, it's too general, too vague. What I ask from you guys is, when you come up with your explanations, that it either be a quote or a specific example from chapters 1, 2, and 5. All right, guys, you have the rest of the period to go ahead and work on the open mind.